Hey, we have a party. Hey, Ryan.
Hey guys. I guess are we all here?
Yeah, so let me, this is the March 23rd, 2021 Acquisitions and Dispositions Committee meeting. And Brian, it's all yours.
Okay, it's 3:31. We'll call the meeting to order. Looks like we are all here. Jeanette.
Hello.
Nicholson. Catherine
Here.
Hedgeman.
Yes.
Heather King.
Yep.
Tony Tazi.
Here.
Brian Barker. Purchased applications, none. So we can move on to item 2.
Yeah.
We have a motion to accept the meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Well, before we do that, Tony, you indicated that Derek Jeter, I guess, it's going to have some sort of walkthrough at some place in Albany. I have to say, I'm much more interested in seeing if he corrected what the hell he did here in Troy. What do I care about Albany? You know, not that I don't care about it, but it's no indication of the quality of his work for sure.
So what he said he was going to do was provide me with pictures of basically new work he's doing. He did say he was going to get back to 3036 and you know, make some changes there. He did send me some pictures, but they're totally unrelated. So he was showing me examples of work he didn't think was very good someplace else. So yeah. So the reason he offers a walkthrough in Albany is because that's the project he's doing now, and he thought that he'd be able to show that the workmanship is better. But I hear what you're saying. You'd rather see.
Yeah, I mean,
You'd rather have a revisit at 3036.
Exactly. Is my only comment about accepting the minutes, if that makes a difference. Anyway.
Do you want to amend the minutes to include that, or do you want me? Are you just making a note and you want me to follow through?
Well, I mean, it's already a done deal, correct? So I mean, yes, I can make a motion to amend, and I certainly would like to see, you know, the quality of his work over there as opposed to anywhere else.
What's the address on this one?
Our property is 3036 6th Ave. I'm not sure what the address is in Albany.
Okay, no, I just, we won't release the enforcement note until he's complied with any additional requests, I guess.
That's fine by me.
We could add a post-meeting note in the minutes to that regard.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Okay. So do I have a second to accept the minutes with the amendment regarding, is it 3636?
Yes.
6th Ave?
I'm sorry, 7th Ave.
7th Ave.
I think I did say 6th.
I'll second. Fight.
Okay. So I'll post the post-meeting note and circulate it around so you all see it. And more importantly, I'll get a hold of Mr. Jeter and tell him we want to go see 3036 again.
Thanks.
No problem.
Next item on the agenda, city disposition list discussion.
Did I circulate the list? This is a preliminary, not to be disclosed to anyone else in the world because it actually has not been released yet. But I see Kate shaking her head. It's been so crazy. I don't know what I've sent and what I haven't.
You sent it to everybody on the planet.
Did I? Oh, that wasn't a good thing. Except for the city not getting me back my FOIA request.
Sorry.
So
I have a question on this though. I'm not understanding the color code. I went to go look at it before the meeting today. And is
Okay.
there a reason why some things are, I mean, I'm just not understanding the,
Yeah, so green are vacant parcels, blue are one family, yellow is two family, purple is three family or other. And then red is 871 River Street, which is the corner parcel, the bar at I want to say Northland. River, it's the bar on the corner that we need to complete the full assemblage of those parcels. You know. what
so
I'm
there's a
talking
total
about,
of 91 properties on here.
right? That's what it looks like. Yes.
Now, is this, okay. Who put in this estimate, the Z estimate and the fair market value? And
I
who
did,
Put
and
all
as
that
I,
in?
yeah, I did, and as I was putting it, I realized that it was pretty much worthless to use those numbers.
No, I was like, wow, the city did a lot of work on this. Let me see here.
Yeah, no,
So it's orange, stuff that you forgot to turn purple.
I'm sorry, orange are parcels that are in our target area.
Okay,
And yeah, I had a key. I guess I lost it. And then on the row 84, 91, and 88, I thought those were just interesting to take a look at. So they were those were kind of notes to myself. What I'd like to do once March is over is go to these. I actually, I've got a much longer report that has street views of everything and more information. And that's the file I should have circulated. This is the one
so when are our bids due?
the city has not released this. I hear that it will be released April 1st.
Okay.
And so some of these properties will drop out. Actually, property
Mhm.
76 has already dropped out. That person paid the taxes. So I'm not sure how many more will, but there always are.
So is this something that we should be giving to our realtor and having them look at it and look at the potential for programming?
Yes,
Because that
and
was one of the services that they were going to be providing to us.
yes, and I believe I provided it to them.
Okay, and then we would be making a motion at the April meeting as to what to put offers in on? Is that
Yeah,
what the
so
timeline?
that's where it gets to be tricky. So how do we want to go about this? There isn't going to be any grant funding coming this year. I'm kind of hoping the city will be generous this year and give us more properties of value to offset the properties that are going to need work.
Have you had a conversation with them yet about what they are
I
thinking, their thought?
have tried to contact Mr. Strickland twice, and twice I haven't heard back from him.
All right, how about we send out an email to try to get a conference call and what it's about?
I suspect if you sent that, he'd probably pay attention to it because he's not paying attention to anything I'm sending lately.
Okay,
So, to be dead honest with you, and I don't know if he's busy. Everybody seems to be.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, thanks, Heather.
no, I'm doing it right now because I'll forget.
Yeah, it's just, if I email him a third time to ask the same question, it's what's the definition of insanity?
Well, but your emails are so long.
Oh, well, that's the point, because Steve does not like long emails, which is why I make his especially long.
I don't know anybody who likes long emails.
I know, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
I do.
And and
You
Malta,
bill by the hour. Steve gets paid a salary.
and Malta, my nickname was Mr. TMI. Much information.
Mr. TMI.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. So.
Do you want me to, Brian and Jeanette, do you want me to CC you on this email?
Sure.
Okay. Okay,
So yeah, I think if we have a conversation with Steve, get a feel for what position the city is going to be in terms of generosity. I mean, they're going through really rough times with COVID and the loss of tax revenue. So
Yes, but there is the $45 million that we got. Through the
Well,
CARES Act.
that's true. And that's what
So,
everybody was.
it's not gonna be
hanging-
as lean as one would, as we thought about initially.
Okay,
What we really want is more properties that really don't need any work per se, but would be maybe good rehabs we could sell between like 50 and 80,000, right? So even if we got one or two of those, it would be a huge help.
oh yeah,
And then, if there's other things that, make sense to land bank, those, but you're right, like we can't really take any demos. We can't take, really any stabilization unless we know we can cover it.
tough to do.
So, or that we might have a buyer, do we go to the seats and the habitats and the beacons and say, is there anything you can think of, if we acquire these, that you would use them for? Or I don't know.
What
So-
about,
That's actually a good idea. I mean, I don't know how much we could share the list, but I mean, you can give it to Seat and Habitat and say, hey, if you had to do some community development in this area, what would you do? What would you have your eye on?
what about private co-development partnerships? I was talking to someone about pulling some equity out of 11 Winnie Avenue to help calm our cash flow problem. And he got into a conversation about, so he's associated with the folks that bought 24 McClelland, and 24 McClelland looks like the best house on the street now. So they did a really good job with that. So we got into a conversation where he expressed interest to partner with the land bank to kind of do similar things with multiple properties. So
Well, here's the thing. There's no such thing as a private co-development agreement, right? He wants to purchase a property and rehab it. That's essentially it. Like if we're going to hire him to do the work, that's an RFP situation. You know what I mean? Like he just has to buy it and do, what he's going to do. It'd be one thing if it was like a 791 River where it was a new build and we were hiring somebody to do it and then we are selling it. But again, you'd have to bid on that. When we do it with Habitat and with Seat, it's entirely different because they're providing the labor and or it's usually a home, right? And we get a portion of the proceeds generally.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying now. In that same type of that scenario, could we do that with a private party?
No, because he'd have to bid on the work. We'd have to put it out to bid. That's my point. Like we
Okay.
bid 791.
And we don't with Habitat because it's a special kind of arrangement.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's the answer. Okay, I'm just trying to find ways to develop some sort of an inventory that's going to make financial sense and actually get something done for us. So,
I mean, we certainly could bid a project like 791. We did have it rehabbed and then sell it. And then the contractor gets paid, but good luck finding somebody who's going to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess it sounds like the bottom line is we need to have a conversation with the city and go from there, right?
I emailed them.
Thank you.
And we should probably get Irvin on that call. Or Virginia, whoever's available, just somebody.
Right, for the realtor.
moving on to enforcement. Foreclosure status updates.
3209, 3211, the buyers or the owners actually finally contacted us after months, and of course wanted to know what the appeal process was, and to which my response was, no appeal process. You either deed it over or we're taking a judgment in court. And since then, I have not heard from them. The 785, 836 River, Tony and I are putting the finishing touches on filing that. It'll probably get filed maybe by the end of the week.
Okay.
And that's it on those two. And then Tony, has Seat talked about enforcement?
No, and when I was looking at the agenda, it crossed my mind that we need to have them make the rounds again. So,
Yeah, I mean, I need reports. I mean,
yeah.
I've tried to follow up with them myself and I've gotten nowhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I've sent, not recently, but like I'd say maybe a month ago, you know, I said, hey, we really need to talk about this and get reports, and it just kind of no response.
Okay.
I hate this video thing. I need a setup like Jeanette's got a sweet setup.
I do.
You do. You're straight on. Like,
Huh,
it's nice.
Okay.
Need the headphones too. So you can be like a,
I have my AirPods in, so that helps, but and Brian, I don't know why you're wearing your mask. I'm intrigued.
because we have to.
Oh, you do in the office there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a rule.
Okay. I thought it was us.
No. Yeah, I haven't read anything about contracting the virus via the internet yet. I guess it's possible. Anything's possible.
Different kind of virus.
Well, right through 5G, right through 5G. Remember the big hoopla about 5G?
It's a new strand.
Shall we move on to updates on projects? Are we done with enforcement?
Yeah, I'll contact George Brower at Seat.
Need, you know, probably some additional meetings with them and let them, you know, digest it. And my guess is, like every other case that I have that's defective, you know, it's almost a daily basis, you know, whoops, we need to do this, or we need, you know, so, you know, I think they just got to get in there and get going and see what else comes up too.
Yeah. And Seat has been to the site.
Yeah, George Brower has been there a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with the fact that you have a set of documents, you have a list of deficiencies with suggested repairs, that if the contractor's responsible, and I hope that Seat would be, and you define which ones need to be done by an able subcontractor, then yeah, I think you just move forward. I think you can get to an agreement with that, and then there's always going to be, especially with remedial work, there's always going to be unforeseen conditions and things that you have to change or revise. And I almost think it's better done as you do the work, because you uncover things and you actually get a better picture than trying to guess ahead of time. But
The other two things I just wanted to bring up and put out there too is we'll probably need to have TAP or re-engage TAP as the architect on this to monitor those services. So, you know, we'll really need to talk with them about that, you know, sort of doing what they've been doing so far, but they would be, and I don't know, that's the issue, if they'll agree to be the architect of record for it.
They have.
Oh, good. Phew. You know, because that's really important. And then the other thing I would just mention is that 230 something number that Seat, you know, put through, you know, when we have the RFPs back, we'll know a little bit more about, you know, how good that number is, but I think we should add, like, if that's what's in our mind, we probably need to add 10% in retainage because it's gonna, you know,
Contingency.
yeah,
Surprises. We
Yeah.
always have surprises.
so, you know, just keep that in mind, but, you know, I think you're right, Brian. I think just getting seat in the door, getting those RFPs out, and then, you know, sort of the proceed, and, you know, as things come up, then we'll have to address them. You know, and quite frankly, there's going to be things where even if it's a change order of some sort or an increased expense, you know, we really can't wait for a committee to reconvene, you know, like Tony's going to have to, you know, make his own judgment call to the extent that he thinks he can. And, you know, if he really feels he's got to get, you know, this group together, I think he can do that. But it's really got to be watched and monitored.
And that was something Beth and I spoke about, and that's that there are going to be decisions that have to be made on the spot in some instances, and there are other decisions that may have to come back to A&D because, you know, might be a big deal, a lot of money, that kind of thing. So just so seats total estimate is 218, almost $219,000. So just pull that up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather pay TAP to be close by in the field during construction than to try to repackage the whole thing and waste time. Not that it would be a waste of time, but you have so many dollars. I'd rather put the dollars where you really need them, which is eyes in the field.
Are you saying like a clerk of the works?
Well, whatever interval they're going to be on site, whether it's every 2 weeks or every week, but I think you want eyes in the field.
They have been going every week.
Yeah.
So
Because if they have to issue any kind of instruction as you go, they're just right there. They understand exactly what's happening in real time. Now, when you say RFP, I mean, we can't just hire, and I'm sorry if I don't remember how this all gets procured, but are we simply hiring seat and they're subbing out? Are we allowed to do that, or we have to put the whole thing out?
We're doing a co-development with seat. They're going
Okay,
to
that's
use
right.
their labor because
Yep.
that's the piece of it that
Yep.
the whole point of a co-development, right?
Yep.
Then because it's our money, we do have to RFP the subs that are likely to be over $15,000 at least. We may RFP everything they ask us to because we don't know, and to see if we can get competitive pricing. I mean, that's always a good way to do it.
Right.
And then once those come in, we'll review them and make the award. And, anything under 15,000 that we're sure, we have the ability as the land bank just to procure that pursuant to, I think the disposition requires board approval at 10,000 or over. So, we have some discretion under those thresholds to keep moving. But what I'm finding, especially with 54 Fifth, is that we think it's one thing, but then it turned out to be more. And, we need to properly bid everything out just in case that happens.
Right.
So
now, say in the case of the metal panels, can we and seat as the code developers buy the materials, say they were less than $15,000? I don't know if they will be, and then just put the labor out. I mean, is seat going to do that? Are they going to shop the project, or is it just going to be a lot of paperwork for us? Are they going to be a GC?
well,
true
yes,
GC?
yes, but they because they don't know our RFP process, I'm going to have to, draft those and whatnot,
Right.
but they're going to manage the subs. Yes. for us.
I'm just thinking, like, if you hired a sub, say, to do the siding and their number was $30,000, but, you know, we could split materials and labor because we're gonna, you know, Seat can buy the material as a GC and he can just hire a sub to install it for less than 15. Do we get around the RFP process because of that? Or is that not right?
If we were gonna buy the materials, we'd have to buy them directly. You know, I mean, Seat could spec them out, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yes, I suppose you could. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I mean, clearly, I think the siding and the masonry, those are distinct pieces that really need to be well done.
And, you know, the RFP is going to have the scope of work, so it's going to refer to TAP's suggestions. And I might need a little assistance there, making sure I got it right, you know, what they're actually bidding on.
Yep.
Because half the time I look at the drawings and, you know, there's abbreviations and there's, you know, so I got to make sure I get that right. And I suppose as part of the RFP, we could add an addendum with those actual instructions on it. So with TAP's thing, so. Okay.
And do we have a required bid period? Does it need to be 30 days or can it be like 3 weeks?
It could be whatever we want it to be. I think general 2 weeks. And I know sometimes Tony gets requests, you know, to extend it even sometimes because people just haven't had a time to respond. So I suppose we could start with 2 weeks and then, you know, if people call, you know, it might be something the board says, you know, go ahead and extend it another week.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like the next conversation we have to have is really with Seat, right? Which we're trying to line up now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I asked them to come to the board meeting so that they can just say, you know, hi, we're your friends that we've been working with you for a while. Cause I know, you know, the board really hasn't had much interaction with Seat, and to sort of give us their proposal, short proposal on doing this co-development together. So we were just going to circle back around with Jennifer and her team to help them be set up to present to you. And then I think after that, once we're going to move forward, yeah, we got to sit down and I need them to identify, you know, the list of subcontractors we're going to need. If nothing else, I need that to get the RFPs going. All right.
So do you want me to report on the rest of the properties, or would you like to talk more about 791?
I'm ready to move on. I just assume, so the next step is to actually sign a co-dev with Seat, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I think the next step is to make some decisions on what direction we're going to go with, you know, the different options, like you pointed out, alternatives to the metal panels that were originally spec'd.
Yep.
I think that needs to come before the code dev, right?
Well,
That's working out all the terms of what's going to actually be done. I think we put the co-development agreement in place and I can be working on RFPs and then the technical team can meet and hash all that out.
yeah.
Okay, so
That could be like a deduct
Guys.
change order. I mean,
Hey, I'm getting a call from Steve Strikeman. I'll call you guys back.
okay,
Okay.
we still have a quorum.
Okay. Well, we're not voting on anything. Actually, yeah, I lost him, so I'll call him. I was like, I look over, I'm like, hey. So how about that, Tony?
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
that's right. When Heather speaks, people listen.
No, Brian, I wish to God that was true. I just kept my email really short.
Uh,
That's Steve.
Mhm.
You mind if I take this with Steve?
All right, good. Yes, take it.
Hey, Steve. You're, you're catching Heather and I in a Zoom meeting, but I wanted to catch you because I was hoping to get together with you and some of our AD members to go over the whatever's the current updated proper disposition list is. Well, you gave me a list. It's probably about a month old now. Maybe. Okay, okay.
It's nice to see that he called Tony back too.
Yeah, and then just talk about them in general, and you know, there's the beacon element to it as well. Um, okay. So. Okay, I see that picture. So, but if we could have a conversation with you. Okay. No, I hear you. You want to make sure you don't step in anything. All right, cool. Thanks, Steve. Oh, bye. Steve says hi, Heather.
I'm gonna call him back.
So he's a little worried that he gave out the list without permission to me. So he doesn't want to he doesn't want to get in hot water with Sharon. So he's got to talk to Sharon and then call us back or email us back and suggest how to move forward.
Okay.
So
updates.
okay, 11 Windy Avenue. Everything is complete except the back porch, and I'm still waiting for Russ Reeves to get something into the city. I don't know what it's going to take because now I'm sure he's getting busy.
Does he need a letter from me?
Maybe he does.
All right, send me the information.
Which one was this that you're talking about?
11 Winnie Ave.
Oh, okay. Did you get
Um,
that? Because you got my message about the other one where in order to demo it, that you needed a letter from an engineer, not the city engineer, right?
Yeah, which is a different direction than
Yeah.
they've been giving me. So that's good to know. But also on 11 Winnie, Irv went to see it last week, and he tells me that he sees mold in the building that needs to be taken care of. So I know he runs a mold business. I'm not sure if that's why he found mold, but that's now an issue as well. So yeah, I think he was talking about 11 when it might have been 54 5th. So I'll have to go back and read the email I sent. But you know what I'm hoping to do is get that on the market as soon as we can because of cash flow. And what we'll be talking about in executive committee is I've been talking to Ameristar, which is the place that funded 24 McClelland, because they have quick access to expensive money, but it's short-term money, so it's not really that expensive. So for instance, we would need, for cash flow purposes, if we borrowed $100,000, we would be paying 16% interest for the 2 or 3 months that we needed to bridge the gap to get to a better cash flow situation. So those are the issues revolving around 11 Winnie. And part of the cash flow issue comes back to Tanya not giving us the funds we need to get all our expenses paid through this quarter. She would only front enough money for what invoices I had in hand. And that's in part what's causing our cash flow problem. So in addition to, pulling out some equity from 11 Winnie, I need to have a conversation with her and ask her to be a little bit more generous for the quarterly report that I'll be submitting in April and the projected expenses for the third quarter. So we'll see how that goes. 54 Fifth Avenue, I have not been in the building in too long a time, so I need to get back in there. But George has been reporting to me, and I've seen some photos. They have started to do some taping, and it's kind of funny because you always know when somebody's taping for the first time. And these are all kids, so I know they're learning, but I could tell from the photos that they're not seasoned tapers. But it's making headway. Phase 1 is fully complete. The cellar looks amazing. I mean, compared to what it looked like in the beginning to what it looks like now, it looks like a different planet. So that came out really, really well. But we have to get them moving to get the building, moving forward so we can get it on the market. I have distinctly asked Johnny Bobo to slow down at 3229 6th Ave because that's just a stabilization, and we're going to get $20,000 out of it when we sell it. It'll be a good project because we will have saved the building, and it's a really good building. Russ Reeves says that there is another stabilization issue that he's found, so I want to visit that with him because I'm starting to wonder if he's just finding things to find things. I hate to say that, but and I know Russ pretty well. He's a perfectionist, so I'm wondering if it's really something that needs to be addressed now, or if it's something that somebody else needs to address in 20 years. So 7 Park Avenue, I was on the phone for 90 minutes with National Grid and finally got them to send 2 snail mail letters to me to verify that the electric and the gas services are disconnected. So we need 2 more things to happen before we can demolish it. One is we need to have an engineer write a letter recommending that it be demolished. So we need an engineer to do that. I could call Russ Reeves. Don't know when I'll get to it, but I think I'm going to call TAP or find another engineer. And the city public utilities needs to go in and separate. There's a line that goes to 7 Park that goes to 7 Park and directly over to another parcel, or the other way around. I'm not sure exactly, but the bottom line is public utilities has to come in and separate those lines. They wouldn't do it in the winter because they don't like surprises in the winter, and I can't blame them. But now that it's warming up, I think it's time to have Greco, who's the contractor, give public utilities a call and start to coordinate that. So, and I've been in contact with them, so they were happy to hear National Grid finally, only took them 5 months, but they finally provided the letters, and they weren't hearing back from the city about the letter that the city engineer promised to provide as a condemnation letter. So he was happy to hear that there's movement on that, or at least direction on that. So 7 Park Avenue should start moving forward. Tanya did tell me that as soon as I tell her we have a scheduled date to tear it down, she'll advance the funds. And I think it's all grant funds with the exception of some minor costs. So that'll be a good project to get completed.
Tony, has RPI talked to you about that one? The Park Avenue lots at all?
I know we have talked about them. I don't remember where we landed on it.
or
'cause we-
tap for that matter.
Tap hasn't. I know Barb's interested in tiny buildings, narrow buildings.
Because RPI's the studio that formed that is working on a proposal for that property with the intent that maybe it's going to end up being a, a partnership co-dev with Habitat and Tap
Well,
being the architect.
I saw the presentation that they
Yeah.
did about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if, this is the lot we want to do this on. But in any event, we were planning on banking those parcels after
Right.
7 Park comes down, so.
Yeah.
So that would be great. I mean, that'd be a great partnership.
I think Habitat's definitely interested in doing it. I think everybody is really. I don't.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind.
So I won't sell it to Derek Jeter.
Don't say that.
Okay. So that's what I've got for you, unless you have questions.
I'm gonna hang up because I have just to make a few phone calls before I log into our 4:30. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just gonna
All
say a lesson learned on 791 is I don't think we should ever be the developer, put the developer hat on again, unless we're a co-developer with another
Or
builder.
Or you get what you pay for?
Yeah.
Maybe that too.
I mean, I don't think I was that keen on it when it first was proposed, because I thought it was a little bit out of our defined mission, but I know we had to figure out a way to spend money, right? And so we ended up doing it, but
Well, we succeeded at that.
yeah,
We've been doing a really good job at that. All right.
Right.
Thank you guys. I'll catch you on the next one.
thanks,
Okay.
Heather.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was it. I thought this is going to be a little bit of a painful experience. It has been a painful experience,
Yeah.
Well, wasn't part of it too that, I mean, there was no general contractor sort of in all of that?
No,
which-
there definitely was, but
Or architect, there was a critical missing piece.
well, the critical missing piece was simply that the general contractor was just progressing hit and miss. And the architect who became the owner of the business,
Right,
he made changes without telling us. When he did tell us he would make changes and we would say, we need a zero cost change order to document it. It was like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
So, but Kate and I knew walking in that this was going to be potentially challenging because of the large cost difference between the low bid and the next 2 bids.
Yeah.
So, and I think I need to let executive committee start coming on, guys.
Yep. All right, I will leave and come back.
All right.
So who
Shall we
motion
adjourn
to
the
adjourn?
motion to adjourn?
Okay,
oh, yes.
and adjourned at 4:28. Okay, thank you.